Today we got a controversial subject, something I wanted to talk about, and some things I want to address, and that's the differences between shelter dogs and dogs from a breeder. And the main question I'm trying to answer today is why would you buy a dog from a breeder if the shelters are so full? What's the difference? Aren't they all dogs? And this is a question I get a lot, way more than you would think. And I don't know, they may just be trolls. But adopt don't shop is always a thing that's out there, and everybody. And I understand that the dog shelters are full. I understand that. So what can we do to empty the dog shelters? Let's discuss it all today. Today I want to show you my camp of American bullies that I breed. We're gonna show you all of the females out. We got most of the females out right now. We're gonna show you the American bully studs we have on the yard. I'm only gonna let one stud out at a time. And I'm gonna try to catch them when they're still, and we can get some real good understanding of their posture and everything. I'm gonna try to get better pictures. They told me I need to do better on my camera work. And then after that, we're gonna go look at all the pups. We got a couple of litters of really good American pups. And that's why this topic comes up, because I'm still breeding pups. I have another litter on the way from this boy Domino. He has 2 litters on the way right now. So that's why this conversation came up. Was it responsible for us to even breed since when the shelters are that full? And what I will tell you is only what I can tell you from my experience. And there's hands down no comparison between what happens with real breeders and what happens at the shelter. And that's because I think the reason that the shelters are full to begin with is because of a lot of unsupervised breeding and a lot of unhealthy breeding and a lot of backyard breeding. That's what ends up in the dog shelter. A bunch of dogs that are not pedigree, not healthy, not tested, not brought along, not raised properly, not housed properly. Those are the ones that end up in the shelter because they end up on the street, and then the authorities or these same people call and say there's a dog loose in the neighborhood, and they come over and take the dog to dog jail. But what happens with the dogs that we breed that start at about $2,500? What happens to those dogs that you get the ears cropped on, that the ears crop cost, when you have embark DNA and health testing done on your dogs? Does that not make a difference? Would you feel better? In other words, would you feel better if your dog if you didn't have any idea where this dog came from, what the health of the dog was going to be, what even breed the dog is? Or would you feel better getting a whole pedigree paperwork certified from a registry that says this is the dog's parents, the dog's grandparents, the dog's great-great-grandparents, the great-great-great-great-great-parents, and this is the full lineage. This is all the different owners of the lineage. That's what you pay for with a pedigree. And what you pay for from a breeder is a good, healthy dog. What do I mean by good, healthy dog? Is a dog that's been tested. The parents have been tested. Domino has already been embark tested before Legend was made. We already made sure this is Domino and this is Legend. This is Legend, is his son. We tested him before we made him. We already know what's in his blood because we tested him. And then we tested him. Okay, we know the health of our line and we're 3 generations into it. So the first thing different between my dogs and the pound is you got a health record of what they do, and you have a pedigree of where they're from, and you have an idea that they're going to be healthy because of those facts. In other words, you ain't gonna go to the shelter, spend $35 on a dog, and then it have it have a coronary problem, and you stuck paying a coronary dog bill for the next 5 or 6 years, or you got to put your dog down, or worse, you go out there and get a dog, shelter dog that you don't know anything about for your kid, and it has a terrible background, and it does something to the kids, or it doesn't even do nothing to the kids. The kids get attached to it. They love the dog. The dog does everything he's supposed to do, and you love the dog to death. And 2 weeks later, it's dead. How many times you gonna do that with your kids? So you only have one childhood. I say invest in it. Don't go get some dog that you don't know anything about. There's a big difference. Now, all of my dogs are kept from the beginning. We're gonna go inside and check out the pups here in a sec. But they're kept on the ground. These are some of our mothers. It's one of my mother dogs there. That's another one of my mother dogs. They look a little skinny because they are at hard work, providing protein for our puppies. And we feed them a certain diet in order for them to feed the puppies a certain diet. And then we take the puppies to the veterinarian. We take them to the veterinarian way before they even have the puppies, and all during the pregnancy. And then we health test the puppies. And then we go and get deworm and all the shots, parvo. We get all that done. Then we go and get the ears cropped, another investment. You don't see a lot of dogs in the dog shelter with their ears cropped because it's expensive to crop these dogs' ears. It could cost you $1,200 to crop the dog's ears. We go and get that done as a final investment in our dogs. Okay? So when you get your dog, you can go get on an airplane with our dogs because you have total records that shows the shots, that shows the deworming, shows the vet care, shows every stage of his life until this point when they got on that plane. It shows you're going to have the record of every ancestor that dog had before it got on this plane. It's going to be in your hands with that pedigree. That's the difference. You can't go to the dog shelter and take one of them dogs back on the plane because you have no information about it, and the airlines won't let you do it. This is a healthy pack of bullies here. We keep them fed with dog supplements, packed with vitamins. They're not getting that at the dog shelter. We feed them the most expensive grain-free dog food. The dogs at the dog shelter, I'm pretty sure ain't never had no grain-free dog food. So there's a big difference between what we do and what the shelter does. Let's go ahead and check out these pups, man. These are a couple of our pups from the other litter that are ready to go right now. And then we have some that are a little bit younger. They're just getting up and moving around. You see they're very healthy, shiny. We give them all New Vet Plus dog supplements. Every dog on the yard gets 1 pill a day, is what we try to do to keep the schedule up. But the mothers get 2 or 3 because they're feeding New Vet to the dogs, to the puppies. But we not only raise the dogs, we love on them they spoiled and they are already companion type dogs, a little bit socialized before you even get them get the dog. So we're doing everything we can to give you a safe and healthy dog that will be good with your kids, that's gonna love you, because that's all they know how to do. They don't know, we don't teach them fighting and anything out of the line. We teach them to be companions, because that's what this breed is. Now, that's not to say that every breed is doing that. In certain breeds that are working breeds, they do certain things with the pups from the very beginning to help that dog be a working dog. If a dog is a retriever, there's certain things they do from the very beginning to make them a retriever. And our dogs happen to be companion dogs, and there's certain things that we do from the beginning, and that's give and receive love. And they turn into great companion dogs. So you got a choice whether you got something responsible to give your kids that you've done a lot, that you can do some research on and find out as much as you can before you give it to your kids, basis going to a shelter and having no idea the history of that dog at all. And if we thought for 1 minute that the dogs that we're creating are what's filling up the dog shelters, we wouldn't do this. But I'm positive that our dogs ain't what's filling up the dog shelters. Our dogs are lifelong companions that people invest money to get, and that's why they do their research to get and make a responsible choice when they buy the dogs. So there's nothing wrong with the shelter dogs. If you're that type of person, but be responsible. You can't do that with kids. That's my main point. You can't do that with kids. Come here. You leave him alone. You leave him alone. He's too young for that. He's too young. These boys are gonna go get this is a girl here, this is a boy. They're gonna go get their ears cropped on Tuesday. After those ears cropped, I keep them for another 10 days because I give them a parvo shot and everything before I even go take them to get the ears cropped. But I keep them for another 10 days just to make sure how the shot took and that they're gonna be healthy and everything. That they have no side effects, in other words. So after we got all of that straight, they're ready for their forever home. So which is a well-documented process to get a real healthy, emotionally sound dog to your family, a family friend. Now, if you just want a dog to tie up on a chain in the backyard, this is not it. Go ahead and go to the shelter or to your cousin and buy a $35 dog. But if you're really looking for a family companion, an asset, an addition to your family, you need to come on out the bench for the big win, man. And get you something hard cut. That's all.